You're listening to Online Pet Health Podcasts with Dr. Megan Kelly. Continuing education for veterinarian rehabilitation therapists. Learn more at onlinepethealth.com.
Hey vet rehabbers, so we've come together today to say goodbye to 2020 and to highlight some of the things that we are so grateful for that have happened this year, because I know for a lot of us this has been a really, really horrible year. And thank you so much for joining me.
Hi Meg, thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited about this one because we always talk about how important it is for us to practice gratitude, practice humility, stay positive. So for me, this podcast is us doing that. I want to talk about the things that we're grateful for and that we're good in 2020. It was all around not the best year in the world, but there are always things to be grateful for. And when we focus on those, that's when we really, that's when good things start to happen. So Meg, what are the things that you're most grateful for over the last year?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that really stands out for me is how the vet rehab community has come together. So, you know, I think that we had a really, really great community even before COVID times, but in times of need, everyone has just stood up and supported one another. And this vet rehab community for me has just been incredible. All the support that they gave one another. I mean, we do those coffee with Megans. We started those in COVID on a Friday afternoon, and it's something that we've carried on. And it's so great. I mean, at times we've had like 28 vet rehabbers from all over the world sharing their experiences, sharing what is happening, things that they've done to save their practices, because some people, you know, depending where you were in the world and how bad your lockdown was, they were in a really, really bad position where they couldn't practice. And everyone was just helping one another to find other ways to generate income, giving one another ideas. And, you know, from that community, we went then into the Vet Rehab Summit, which really just solidified this amazing community. And we had the Unity discussion room. And I'm so excited about that, about us making progress in getting unity in our field.
I think that one of the things that for me has been really amazing this year is how it's helped us define who we are and what's important to us. So really, as you've said, Megs, like coming out of this year and knowing that the most important thing to us is our community, is generating unity within our community, supporting each other in different ways. And as a company, we do that in many different ways. So we have our membership platform that is paid, but it's not what we're all about. It's not what drives us and what motivates us to sit in our offices every day. There are so many things that we make available to anyone and everyone, because community is the most important thing to us, because supporting every vet rehabber out there is really important to us. So some of the ways that we do that, you've already mentioned the coffee with Megan. When is that and when can people join that, Meg?
Yeah, so that's usually on the last Friday of every month. So the next one that's scheduled will be on the 29th of January. It's at 3 p.m. Cape Town time, which is GMT +2. You have to have a look at TimeBuddy to see. Maybe we can put in the descriptions the other times around the world. And it usually lasts about an hour. And we have anywhere, like I said, from 5 or 6 people to sometimes 20-something people. And we talk about struggles that we're having. We talk about our wins. We talk about our losses. We build one another up when someone's had a bad week. Maybe someone's got a tricky case. We can talk about it. New research. We never really have an agenda. We just come together, and we always have to say, okay, we got to cut it short now, because we never have nothing to talk about, which is awesome.
And then you mentioned our communities, Meg. So we have a few Facebook groups. Do you want to tell us a little bit about each of them, if anyone's interested in joining?
Yeah, so obviously we have the equine vet rehabbers, hydro vet rehabbers, and small animal vet rehabbers, and those are the ones that we have memberships for. And then another one, which we actually started this year, was the business vet rehabbers. And this one is sort of my baby. It's the one that I'm the most active in. And I'm really passionate about helping you guys to be successful in practice. And especially this year with COVID, I think that the business vet rehab has really exploded because people were needing help. And within each of these groups, I mean, these are free and open to everyone. So it's not just for online Pet Health members. And we try there to do Facebook Live interviews with people and topics which we feel will be supportive and helpful to you guys. So obviously the hydro ones would be more hydro specific and the equine small animal. And then the business side of things, we really look at loads of different things. And one of the new things which has happened since COVID is how to diversify your income. So we've had people on there that have been talking about creating online courses and ways in which you guys can generate income, not only from your practices, which has been beneficial for a lot of people. And there are some vet rehabbers that have had amazing successes with creating online courses and building another source of income.
So these are all professional communities. So you can share cases, difficulties, challenges. You can share all of that without being afraid that a layperson is going to be watching and listening. We're all professionals. We have a very strong policy of positivity and encouragement. So no negative comments, no breaking people down. Positive feedback and criticism, yes, absolutely, that helps us grow and learn, but we are positive. We help you grow, we help you learn in these communities. So, and it's not just the online pet health team, it's the thousands of professionals all around the world that are in there, that are there not only to gain knowledge, but to have a support system, to have a support structure in place that they can go to for help. So I love that about our communities. I love that when someone asks a question or someone has a complaint, a difficulty, a challenge that they're facing in practice, they put it on the group and immediately people are helping them, giving them ideas. What else can you do? How else could you reach those vets that are not referring? I love our communities. So that would be the one thing. And then we also have other ways that we help support our communities that you don't have to pay for, you don't have to look for, like the podcast, right? So tell us a bit about the podcast, Meg.
Yeah, well, we have loads of different topics. And I must say, for me, I wish we did more podcasts every week. And Nae's going to kill me for saying this because she does all the editing up there. But I could do more podcasts. I love doing podcasts. I mean, I interview people from all over the world. It's one of my most favorite things to do. I get to meet people. I get to learn from people. I have ones where we talk about specific topics. We might chat about modalities, maybe research that they've done. Probably my favorite one is the Behind the Vet Rehab Practice podcast. And that's where I chat to vet rehabbers about how they practice vet rehab. So we get to learn from their mistakes so that you guys don't have to pay the school fees that they did. And they get to share with us like all the things that they did right, all the things that they did wrong, and maybe new ways and things that they're doing. So, I mean, just recently now, I've been chatting to some of the vet rehabbers, and what I've noticed is that they're actually not working 5 or 6 days a week. They're working 3 days a week and like working 12-hour days, which is amazing for me, but it works for them and their family. So all these different things that maybe you guys would never have thought about because you just sort of, this is what we do, and hopefully that you can learn from them. So yeah, so there are loads of different topics, and every now and again I get to squeeze in a little business topic. So you know that's my passion. So yeah, there's so much that you guys can learn, and I think I don't know what number we're on now, but we're definitely over 100 podcasts. So there's loads of learning. I think we've been going for about 3 or 4 years now.
So this is podcast number 128. And it's definitely like the podcast is definitely something that I'm grateful for this year. Meg, we started doing weekly podcasts this year. Before they were every second week. So now they're every week. And I'm also grateful that we've managed to convince Meg to not start another podcast because that was on the agenda for this year as well. Let's see next year, maybe she wins that battle. But yeah, very like the podcast is just amazing. 128 episodes.
Awesome.
And our blogs is the other way that we help our community, that we're sharing knowledge. So often we'll write blogs. We try and write them about topics like academic topics that are going to that come from webinars or that come from interviews that we have with people. So it's just another way for us to share that knowledge with you. But we also have started writing some blogs that you can share with your clients. So we've realized that it's really important to write blogs from a like creating from a marketing perspective, but not everyone has the time or the ability to write blogs, right? It's not really that easy. So we've written some that you guys can use so that you can reach your clients. And that's just for you to share, for you to use. So I love those blogs. I love writing blogs. That's like one of the highlights of my week. So I'm really grateful that I can do that.
Yeah, the blog is Anae's baby. So she does most of the writing. She sort of I used to be able to write one a week. And then she would just be like, no, I'll take that one. I'll take that one. So she's on a little bit of a like self-mastery type of process, right? So I love reading those blogs of yours. So when you write those self-mastery blogs, it really makes me look into myself. So thank you for all of those. And those blogs that you write for the pet owners, I think those are so beneficial for you guys because, you know, it's really different when somebody else writes a blog showing how great you are compared to when you write a blog about showing how great you are. So when it comes from another company or somebody else and you share that, I think that it's easier to share. And, you know, you guys, I don't think you shout out enough about how wonderful you are. And so we basically are doing it for you. So yeah, if you see any of those blogs and you want to share them with pet owners, we hope that they are useful and helpful to you.
Good. And then I think the very biggest thing that I am grateful for this year from a business perspective would be the Vet Rehab Summit. So wow. How did that go, Meg?
I actually get a bit teary when I think about the Vet Rehab Summit because it was bigger and better than I ever imagined. I mean, the online pet health team will know that I have big dreams. So sometimes they got to bring me down a few notches because I have these ideas and they're the ones who have to implement it. So without them, nothing would come to fruition. Like it's amazing. Like I say, this is what I want to do. And they're like, okay, let's do it. But sometimes they say, Meg, I think this one's too big. And this was one of those years. I was like, this is what I'm doing. And then I was like, no, this is what we're doing. And we achieved it. And it was just the most amazing, amazing day to have everyone all together, especially for this horrible year that we've had and COVID and not being able to see people and all the conferences being canceled and everyone feeling so alone. So the feedback that we've got from all of you guys, thank you for all of those of you that have sent us emails, because after the Vet Rehab Summit, we just had messages and emails and WhatsApps from all of you, and we really appreciate all of them. Just saying how, you're feeling so alone and now you feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel and you've got support, and it's wonderful to be together on that day. But yeah, I mean, we try to achieve a lot, right? So I remember actually, chatting to some of the associations and people that are pioneers in our field and just telling them what we hope to achieve. And I got a few like blank faces. They were just like, really? So I'll be like, I know, like I'm taking on quite a lot. And they were like, a lot? Yes. Do you think you're going to be able to do that? And I'm like, well, we don't have a choice. We have to, this is what we're doing. But we did. So we had the Unity discussion room. We had the research room. We had the business rooms. We had some controversial topics. We had the around the world networking. And then we had all that CPD. We had the IAVRPT awards. I mean, it was just an amazing day. It's like one of those days where you just wish you could relive it, right?
Yeah, it went so quickly. It was phenomenal. And again, it was just like all the things that define us, that are important to us. Our never stop learning attitude, we brought that into how can we create more research, bring more research into clinical practice. So we have a group going forward now that's come from the Vet Rehab Summit that Kiki Hausler is leading, which is focusing on a global scale, how can we make it more possible for people to participate in, be part of research in clinical practice? Like, can we create a global database? So they're having their first meeting in January, and the same thing with Unity. Like, if you know us, again, you know that we don't discriminate. If you're in rehabilitation, doesn't matter how you got here, it doesn't matter what you're doing or who you are. And I know many of you won't agree with that, but I think it's really important that we support each other no matter who we are, because we all have a common goal and a common interest. We all want to help patients. We all want to make dogs, cats, horses, bunnies, hamsters feel better. And we can only do that when we stand together. The more divided we are, the more we're saying, I'm better than you are, the less we're achieving that goal. So we don't discriminate. And we're working towards ways in which we can create unity within our profession on a global scale. It doesn't, like, yes, we have to get that right in South Africa, and then we have to get it right in Australia, and then we have to get it right in Sweden. But if we're not working all of us together, then it makes it so much harder on a local scale for us to achieve that. So having the unity discussion room, and again, there's a working group that's come out of that, who's going to work on a global scale to try and figure out how to achieve unity, because it's not so easy. It's not so easy as saying we're one team and we're going to work together. It's really hard. We know that from the journey we've had in South Africa. So I'm super grateful that we could take the Vet Rehab Summit not just as a conference, but as an opportunity for us to achieve more, to look at the big challenges that we have in our profession and in our lives, and to address them and to find ways of moving forward. So not just that it was a one-day event, but that we can take those things and have working groups that came forward, volunteered their services, and are going to make sure that these things actually happen for us.
Yeah, I mean, these are ongoing goals for us at Online Pet Health. So like Kene says, it's not just the one day we're doing this, we're going to carry on. One of the things that we forgot to mention was in the groups, our mentorship program.
Oh, yes. Tell us about the mentorship program, Megs, because that's just amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that everyone should have a mentor, and you might need a clinical mentor, you might need a business mentor. And so we wanted to facilitate this within our communities. And so I think it was sort of midway through the year, I can't remember exactly which month, but we launched the mentorship program in our Facebook communities. And basically you're able to put your name forward if you want to be a mentor or mentee. And we basically will line you up with somebody, and you can, for a month or 3 months or whatever, meet up with that person. Sometimes I think there's been a group of people where you can basically get the support that you needed, because we don't want you guys to feel alone. And a lot of you guys have practices, you're isolated. So I remember back when I opened up my practice being very isolated. I was, the only like vet rehabber in the area. And I didn't have anyone to bounce off. There weren't any of these kind of communities. So you can obviously do that in the group. But then if you feel like you need more one-on-one help, there is the mentorship program. And then within the business side of things, if you guys are struggling with your practices, I know a lot of you are one-man bands or two-man bands. And having had my own practice, I know what it's like to have to be consulting majority of the time and still run a successful practice. And so, a lot of you might be in the position now where you've got all these things to do. You've got marketing, finance, maybe you need to get more staff. You got to get systems in place, and you're just in this kind of, I've got so much to do, I don't know where to start. Reach out to me, guys. You can personal message me. You can send me an email, meg@onlinepethealth.com. I will meet up with you guys. We'll do do like a one-on-one strategy call. We'll meet up on Zoom and we can basically look exactly what you need to do. And I can help you with some focus and direction and slowly go through what you need to do from the level of what's most important right now for your practice. And once you have a bit of direction, that'll really help you guys. And obviously you can also get more support with the rest of the vet rehabbers and the business vet rehabbers group.
Yeah, that's a great point, Megs. I mean, you've been mentoring people from a business perspective for quite a long time, but having someone to mentor you from a clinical aspect, you need someone who's really been on the journey that you want to be on. And so it's hard for you, Meg, to do all of that because you were on a specific journey. So you can help people with that. But from a clinical perspective, that's really where you guys want to sign up to that mentorship program. Or if you're running an equine practice, I think that's also an area where you can get some help in the mentorship program. It's so valuable to be able to just sit and speak to someone about what you're going through and get some help. So yeah, sign up for that. They're in all our Facebook groups. You'll be able to find how to sign up for the mentorship, or just email us and we can help you.
And lastly, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys for just being absolutely amazing. Like I say this all the time, but my husband always reminds me how incredible we are. He says that there are not many people that can say, I make paralyzed dogs walk again. You guys are incredible and just keep being so awesome. And yeah, thank you for being such an amazing part. And each and every one of you are a pillar in our community and we appreciate you.
And please share with us what you're most grateful for over the last year. So we've shared with you our main things that we're really happy about, that we're really grateful for, and that we're going to focus on. But what is it that you're grateful for? What is it that's going to help you take on 2021 with positivity and with gratitude in your heart? Please do share those with us so that we can celebrate with you.
Oh. Thanks, Anae. Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you, Meg. Merry Christmas, guys.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I load a new podcast. And please, if you get a moment, head over to Stitcher or iTunes and leave me a review. It's a really lonely job being a podcaster, and so the only time I get to hear from you or know that you're out there is when I get a review. And know that I read every single one of your reviews. So to those of you that have left reviews, I want to say a very big thank you. Every time we get a review, it really helps to get the Veterinary Rehabilitation Podcast out there to all the vet rehabbers all over the world. Alright, vet rehabbers, so if you are looking for more continuing education in the field of veterinary rehabilitation, head over to onlinepettalk.com. Go be awesome, guys.